May we be seated? The Secretary shall read the seventh order of the day.
Order number 7, Policy and Budget Speech on Vote 8, Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport.
I now call upon the MEC for Public Works, Roads and Transport, Honorable M. Lachminarain, to deliver the policy and budget speech.
Honorable Speaker, Ms. Makosazana Masilela, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Ms. Janet Tabete, Honorable Premier, Ms. Refilwe Msweni Tsipane, my colleagues in the Executive Council, Chair of Chairs, Honorable Klope, Honorable members of this esteemed August House, Chief Whip of the ruling party, Honorable Fadal Mlombo, Honorable Chief Whips of opposition parties, the Chairperson of the House of Traditional Leaders, Nkosi Ngomane, members of the House of Traditional Leaders present, Executive Mayors and MMCs present, our Director General, Head of Department, Mr. Charles Morolo, management team, and all employees of the department. The Chairperson for Nehau, Mpumalanga, Mr. Fani Ngwenyama, Chairperson of Sentako, Mpumalanga, Mr. Fanyana Sibanyoni, who was also recently elected as the second Deputy President of Sentako, other stakeholders from Sanral, SA Taxi, and TRAC, including guests in attendance and participants on digital platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Madam Speaker, allow me to express my profound sense of humility and gratitude for the opportunity to present the 2022-2023 Policy and Budget Speech, Vote 8, for the Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport. The department reaffirms its commitment towards the realization of an integrated transport system and infrastructure that promotes socio-economic development in line with the National Development Plan of 2030. Madam Speaker, as we celebrate Youth Month, we remember one of our African gallant fighters, Kwame Nkrumah, who was a nationalist leader and president of Ghana. Nkrumah advanced a policy of Africanization by building new roads, schools, and health facilities, and strongly believed that Africans were capable of developing their own countries without reliance on the Western world. During his address to the masses after realizing the lack of development Ghana was facing, he said that, I open quote, "It is clear that we must find an African solution to our problems, and that this can only be found in African unity. Divided, we are weak. United, Africa would become one of the greatest forces for good in the world." I close quote. It is for this reason we say that our generation highly appreciates and are indebted to the youth of 1976 for their contribution that brought us the freedom that we enjoy today. Our political responsibility is to jealously guard the revolutionary agenda bestowed upon us through bloodshed and sacrifices. Amidst all the challenges facing our country and the province, we continue to soldier on and present our policy and budget speech driven by an era of hope and renewal that is reverberating across all corners of our province under the leadership of Honorable Premier, Ms. Refilwe Msweni Tsipane. Coming out of the recent 2021 local elections, our councillors have signed social contracts with voters to increase our commitment to delivering services to communities. And this will only be possible through intergovernmental relations. Using the adopted district development model, we can deliver services speedily, see Kauleza, in order to respond to the enormous challenges confronting our people. Madam Speaker, we have engaged with our communities on various service delivery challenges, and their message is clear. We took guidance from their messages to prioritize areas mostly affected by service delivery and to protect state resources from corruption. Madam Speaker, the National Development Plan notes that to achieve sustainable and inclusive growth by 2030, South Africa needs to invest in a strong network of social and economic infrastructure. However, the coronavirus pandemic puts at risk the achievement of the socio-economic outcomes envisaged in the NDP. That said, the need for infrastructure investment and development has not gone away. In fact, it is more pertinent than ever. The construction and built environment are central to the revival of the economy and opening up of opportunities that will transform and benefit the province. To continue driving investments into each of these sectors, increased engagement and collaboration between public and private sectors has become a priority. It is only when government, private sector, and labor work in unison towards common objectives that we'll be able to reduce the impact of the pandemic and years of major fiscal cuts. Together, we can build better communities. Through the district development model, that is our DDM, we are integrating our plans, budgets, and competencies to respond to a multitude of developmental needs of communities. This approach will go a long way in assisting the government to reverse the unacceptable levels of unemployment, inequality, and poverty. Ladies and gentlemen, this citizen-centric government promotes the involvement of all stakeholders in their governance and development. All citizens have a right to interrogate, question, and continuously hold political representatives to account through legitimate, non-violent, and democratic means. This right is linked to other constitutional rights. Everyone has the right, peacefully and unarmed, to assemble, to demonstrate, to picket, and to present petitions. The exercise of such rights shall take place peacefully and with regard to the rights of others. However, service delivery protests have on occasion degenerated into destructive and obstructive conduct, which has undermined the rights of others. More worrisome is that violent and destructive service delivery protests undermine future capabilities by destroying the public infrastructure that is essential for improving individual and community capabilities. Therefore, collective effort is needed by both government and civil society to protect public infrastructure against destruction by rogue elements. In response, we are enhancing our public participation programs in line with the recent policy from the National Department of Public Works and Infrastructure. These programs will assist government and civil society to protect public infrastructure against destruction. Honorable members, corruption in both the public and private sectors is one of the greatest impediments that can derail our ambitions to create a better life for all. As a department, we remain vigilant against emerging risks that are regularly enhancing our internal controls to this regard. Citizens and organizations are also invited to play their part in preventing and fighting corruption. Honorable members, the termination of the national state of disaster was a timely relief for many of us. Mpumalanga is now focused on economic recovery to forge a new economy in a new global reality. However, the virus is still with us, and vaccination remains our best weapon against it. Strategically, the province has adopted the Mpumalanga Economic Reconstruction and Recovery Plan to address the negative impact of COVID-19. This plan is aligned to the National Economic Reconstruction and Recovery Plan. Both plans identify infrastructure spending as a key pathway to economic growth and job creation. Government has introduced a new methodology known as the Sustainable Infrastructure Development System, which is SIDS, as a new way of packaging and preparing projects. What makes the SIDS methodology different is that it ensures that infrastructure development is not merely undertaken in a transactional manner, which is where we have fallen short for so many years. At a provincial level, we are working on ensuring that there is strong and effective project management within the department to oversee the massive infrastructure rollout. If not addressed, this can slow the envisaged economic growth and job creation. Ladies and gentlemen, the pandemic has brought us closer to e-government. Digital adoption has taken a quantum leap at both departmental and public sector levels. We have seen how technology can be used to achieve better service delivery outcomes. In the past 2 years, the demand for cloud solutions has significantly increased. For example, top management and I require information to enable effective infrastructure management. This is why we have commissioned the development of a web-based system, that is the Project Information Management System, to enhance project monitoring and oversight. At a press of a button, we should be able to obtain critical information such as the actual physical progress against the planned target, expenditure versus the budget, challenges and emerging risks. This information will enable seamless reporting and assist management to take corrective measures timeously. Technology has evolved so much now that drones can be used for inspections of infrastructure, whether for progress updates during construction, maintenance checks, or damage evaluation after a weather event. In the past, this would have required significant manpower, time, and finances. It is no longer a secret that technology leads to better outcomes, a realization acknowledged way before the coronavirus. We have been using drones to take quality pictures and videos that are used to generate content for our online show, which is the Daily Grid. Madam Speaker, we intend to use these robotic technology in conjunction with workers, not instead of them. Our appetite to embrace technology can also unlock opportunities for young people. South Africa and Mpumalanga need as many drone pilots as they can train. Madam Speaker, our workforce is the backbone of the department. Not only is this group collectively responsible for the execution of our mandate, but are also vital for building a capable state and department. In the past couple of years, we have not been able to achieve adequate staffing levels due to the provincial moratorium on filling of posts. At the same time, our mandate has increased, and we now have more projects and responsibilities. It is against this recognition that a total of 193 posts against 217 advertised posts were filled since 2021 as part of our phased-in approach. On the flip side, a total of 153 employees have left the department during the previous financial year. Overall, the new appointments had a minimal impact on the departmental vacancy rate, which is at 36%. We do recognize that we also need to contain expenditure growth, especially during this period of fiscal constraints. Therefore, this calls for transforming our workforce structure, prioritization of critical posts, and changing budget practices and procedures on compensation of employees where possible. In the meantime, we will continue with phase 2 to endeavor to fill critical posts. Ladies and gentlemen, building capacity of the state is a long-term venture and involves a number of fundamental programs. Aligned to this department is the development of technical skills through internships, learnerships, apprenticeships, young professional programs, and bursary graduate training schemes. Currently, there are 165 young people enrolled on training programs funded by the department. We have also partnered with CETAs to train about 1,483 young people on various skills development programs that include artisans development. Funding from these authorities can be broken down as follows. The Construction Education and Training Authority is 1,118. In terms of Transport Education Training Authority, which is your TETA, it's 199. Banking Sector Education and Training Authority is 110. Public Service Sector Education and Training Authority is 56. These programs have a positive effect on the skills profile of the province and our ambitions to tackle unemployment and poverty. Although we cannot absorb them all, we are benefiting from the enthusiasm and fresh ideas from those that are hosted by the department. Implementation of effective exit strategies will require collaboration between all social partners. Madam Speaker, yesterday I officially opened a training academy in KwaMhlanga, Tembisile Hani Municipality, where the department has partnered with Straight Agri Solutions to tackle the unprecedented youth unemployment. At inception, learners are targeted to receive short-term training on the following trades: welding, plumbing, and electrical. Several local stakeholders, example Afrox and Africa Skills, have partnered with the Academy and are sponsoring materials and other supplies. The long-term objectives of this initiative will be to grow and diversify the operations of the Academy and offer complete one-stop training services. The advert for recruitment will be issued before the end of the second quarter. We are excited about this initiative and are looking forward to forge more strategic partnerships with local municipalities, government departments, state agencies, TVETs, CETAs, and private companies, amongst others. In doing so, we will be able to expand the program to more trades and young people across the province. Last year, I conducted a roadshow to assess the state of cost centers in the department in pursuant to establish internal capacity. The assessment indicated high shortage of personnel as well as plant and equipment of both building and road maintenance. I will continue my roadshow to other districts to establish the financial implications to address these internal shortages. The department has appointed 2 qualified mechanical artisans in December 2021 as part of its measures to resuscitate mechanical workshops in the province. These artisans assist with the repair and service of the department's yellow and white fleet. The department has further identified 3 artisan trainees, 1 in Timbisile Hani and 2 in Steve Swete local municipality, within our teams who will be trained by these recently appointed artisans to enhance their capacity. This strategy is both economical for the province and the turnaround repair time is reduced significantly, making sure that we promptly deliver services to our community and clients. The vision is to see these trainees qualified as mechanical artisans at the end of the training period. The department will set aside additional budget to procure the necessary equipment and tools for these mechanical workshops. This initiative has already yielded positive results, and the aim is to spread it across the province using Nkangala district as a benchmark. Honorable members, employee training and development can enable continuous improvement in service delivery. As such, a total of 142 employees were trained on plumbing, electrical engineering, and supply chain management. Parallel to this program, 139 unemployed youth were trained on diesel mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, auto electrical engineering, and earth-moving equipment. Accredited training providers and CETA conducted the training for the 2 groups. The graduation ceremony for the 281 successful learners will be held on the 17th of June 2022. Madam Speaker, the rollout of social and economic infrastructure has had a significant impact on the lives of the people of Mpumalanga. From development opportunities to improving access to services, associated projects had a powerful impact on the quality of life for those who were previously neglected by the apartheid regime. Last year, the department administered a collective budget of 2.8 billion rand for the Public Works and Infrastructure Program. This budget allocation was apportioned for planning, design, construction, and maintenance of 711 building infrastructure projects. At year end, a total of 628 projects were completed on behalf of client departments. These projects include 380 designs, plus 248 projects with varying scope and complexities. The breakdown of completed projects is as follows: 211 projects for the Department of Education, 3 projects for the Department of Health, 25 projects for the Department of Social Development, and 9 projects for the Department of Sports, Culture, and Recreation. Although our spending in the first of the financial year was below the projected expenditure, there was significant improvement in the latter half of the year. Mpumalanga was the 3rd for infrastructure implementation in the country during the 4th quarter of the 2021-2022 financial year. This performance was acknowledged by Minister Patricia de Lille during the MINMEC held on the 10th of June 2022. This capital investment on public infrastructure did not only support local participation, but also assisted Mpumalanga to address the inherited spatial injustices. Now, there are more schools, grade R facilities, clinics, libraries, and other public buildings than prior to 1994. Notwithstanding these achievements, the working environment has continued to present various challenges in addition to the pandemic. In-year submission of infrastructure plans from client departments undermines planning, prudent asset management, and the production of credible and transparent project pipelines. Apart from the national intervention, several structural reforms are being undertaken to ensure long-term policy stability within the province. In the main, these seek to ensure that strategic planning issues, cost estimates, risks, and related matters are given adequate considerations before allocating funding to a project. Going forward, all infrastructure priorities will be informed by the Mpumalanga Infrastructure Master Plan, a 30-year long-term plan comprising of a 5-year implementation plan. The work to review and align this plan has commenced in conjunction with CSIR and is scheduled for completion by December 2022. In the 2022-2023 financial year, the department plans to complete a total of 198 capital and refurbishment infrastructure projects on behalf of client departments. These include 153 for the Department of Education, 12 for the Department of Health, 4 for the Department of Social Development, 21 for the Department of Sports, Culture and Recreation, 1 for the Department of Economic Development and Tourism, and 7 projects for the Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport. More importantly, these projects include the resumption of works at Mkondo Boarding School and the Parliamentary Village, as well as refurbishment of Kwamplanga Government Complex, which were disrupted by budget-related challenges last year. Consistent with SOPA pronouncements, we shall accelerate the construction of Parliamentary Village, Betal, Mapula Neng, and Mametlake hospitals, and the Mpumalanga International Fresh Produce Market, which were interrupted by illicit forums extorting money and blocking the delivery of services. In addition, the planning and designing for the following strategic projects are on track: the Lina Malachi Tertiary Hospital and the School for the Deaf in Emalahleni Local Municipality, Hoerskool Bergvlam, Nelspruit Primary School, Laar School Laarveld, Laar School Nelspruit, HTS Middelburg, and Pine Ridge High School. Ladies and gentlemen, the Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport is also responsible for providing and managing accommodation, housing, land, and infrastructure needs for all provincial departments. Most importantly, user departments are responsible to budget for maintenance works, while the custodian advises and provides the necessary technical expertise. During the previous financial year, a total of 9.7 million rand was spent on maintenance activities at Kwamplanga Government Complex. The following projects have been prioritized for implementation in the current financial year at an estimate cost of 40 million rand. That is installation of generators, upgrading of existing water reticulation, maintenance of electrical works, amongst others. The current budget shortfalls for building maintenance compels us to reconsider the size of our housing portfolio. This necessitates that we conduct an audit of all state houses to determine the legitimacy of the current tenants. This will have a dual benefit in terms of identifying free riders, as well as identifying housing stock that can be recommended for disposal. Madam Speaker, the department plays a major role in developing, maintaining, and managing the provincial road network. We have a responsibility to ensure that these roads are managed to maximize their role in enabling economic activities and access to social amenities. This is dependent on sufficient and stable funding models and adequate financing. However, government has consistently reduced infrastructure conditional grants to provinces as the national budget deficit and debt have risen. This has reinforced the need for innovative approaches to bridge the funding gap. In response, the department continues to strengthen collaboration and partnership opportunities to respond to the demand for better roads. We are engaging strategic partners such as SASOL, mining houses, and farmers in pursuance of alternative funding solutions to supplement government's resources. The aim is to ensure that private sector that is benefiting from Mpumalanga Roads network contributes towards its construction and maintenance. More so because the coal haulage grant funding has since been discontinued. The Department of Transport through SANRAL is implementing major and minor works on the national road network that transverse through the province. The road agency recently shared with the department the list of projects that are under implementation and due for implementation in the short term. These projects include upgrading of the N2 from around Ermelo to Piet Retief and the KZN border, and the R40 between Hazyview and Bushbuckridge. We are also at an advanced stage to formalize our relationship with the Department of National Public Works and Infrastructure and the Department of Defense. Last year, we indicated our appetite to participate in the Rural Bridges Program, and to date, 12 projects were submitted to DoD for assessment and implementation for the current financial year. This program is part of government's response to improve access to social facilities, especially in rural communities. The program also complements the provision of infrastructure for non-motorized transportation in rural areas. Also, through the district development model, the department is working together with municipalities to integrate the province's road infrastructure maintenance plans, budgets, and competencies to coordinate and implement an integrated response to the pressing need for maintenance and preservation of provincial and municipal road infrastructure. To date, planning sessions have been held with all municipalities through the 3 districts. Resources audits has been carried out, and prioritization of infrastructure for maintenance is currently underway, with the 29th of June 2022 as the targeted completion date for the final one plan. Honorable members, amidst the pandemic, Mpumalanga was battered by heavy summer rains for 2 successive seasons, which has left most public infrastructure in dire condition. This also contributed to the formation of potholes and further accelerated the aging of the provincial road network. To address this, internal road maintenance teams and contractors were deployed to do an urgent remedial work on specific access roads. Additionally, extra muscles and machines have been procured in support of our intensified war against potholes. This was achieved through the acquisition of 4 mechanized pothole patching vehicles that are deployed primarily on vital road networks in the province, particularly on tourism and the coal haulage roads. The procurement of these vehicles is not only a major boost on our plant and equipment, but also gives effect to our intention to use a hybrid model that integrates manual labor and technology to achieve better road management. The department is in the process of completing the pothole reporting APP, which will be linked to our maintenance management system. This application relies on a GPS location, with users given the option of uploading their pinned location on a map and a picture showing where the pothole is located. Madam Speaker, the Youth Month will be one of the busiest months for me as I engage on a program to patch potholes across the province. The objective of the program is to aggressively attend to potholes across the provincial road network, working together with all our municipalities and government agencies. Beyond the month of June, I intend to maintain the momentum on this critical part of road network management. In the past year, we managed to complete 7 paving projects, 3 integrated rural mobility and access projects, and closed a sinkhole near the new Mapula Neng Hospital in Bushbuckridge. Madam Speaker, the Provincial Tourism Sector Recovery Plan forms part of Mpumalanga's broader economic reconstruction and recovery plan. This plan highlights that the role that domestic tourism can play in reigniting tourism in Mpumalanga. Key strategic interventions from the plan include maintenance and upgrading of specific tourism infrastructure, including roads. We are working with the Mpumalanga Tourism Parks Agency to identify roads-related quick wins that can boost tourism in the short term. The following tourism road projects are currently in progress. That is the design, rehabilitation of road from Embalentle to Secunda, rehabilitation of road Akonhoek to Sluvokani, the rehabilitation of road between Matibidi and Graskop, upgrading of road between Sluvokani near Veldverdien, the rehabilitation of sections between Mashishing and Bambi, the upgrading of road between Mbuleni and Mana, that's between Mooiplas and Ekulundeni, the repair of a dolomite sinkhole between Sabi and Pilgrim's Rest, slip failure repairs between Graskop and Hazyview, and the repair and maintenance of Conwayne Pass. Overall, the department has set aside 649 million rand for road maintenance to reduce the current backlogs. In addition, approximately 677 million has been set aside for construction of various strategic roads across the province. One of these projects is the Tegwane Bridge, which was washed away during heavy rains in February 2021. In March 2022, a delegation led by President Cyril Ramaphosa and Premier Refilwe Msweni visited the bridge and promised that it would be repaired. I am happy to announce that the major works on the project is complete, and as from the 17th of June 2022, the contractor will only focus on ancillary works, which include road markings and road signs, guardrails, erosion protection, landscaping, etc. Thank you, Honorable Premier. Madam Speaker, the communities from Nkomazi, Bushbuck Ridge, Dr. J.S. Maroka, Pixie Sakaseme, and other areas have, through various channels, that is your petitions, the presidential imbizo, taking legislature to the people, and meetings with the department, raised serious concerns about the state of roads in their areas. I have heard all your pleas, and we are working tirelessly with the regional teams to attend to your genuine concerns. In the short to medium term, maintenance interventions will be carried out to ensure the roads remain usable and safe. It must be noted that some of the roads have already been designed and are ready for implementation, pending budget availability. Notwithstanding the current budget shortfalls, we plan to complete the following ongoing projects during the 2022-2023 financial year. Light rehabilitation of Road N2 to Klipval, the upgrade of road from Gomotobidi to Rainbow, the upgrade of road from Masibegele to Tambokulu, rehabilitation of road between Verena and Gauteng boundary, the upgrade of road between Volksrug and Dachakral, the rehabilitation of the Coal Hall Road between Van Dijkstrift and Hendrina, the rehabilitation of Coal Hall Road between Delmas and Kendall. This year, we also plan to start the following projects in response to the demand for better roads. Upgrade of bridge over Sand River near Role, the construction of Kumani Bridge near Chula Mahashe, the upgrade of road between Justicia and Belfast, rehabilitation of road past Mananga. Also noteworthy is that the department has started plans for the upgrade of the culvert to Sobuso Primary School in Carolina, as per the commitment made during the presidential imbizo. The works will also include the re-graveling of the access road to the school. This will ensure that the learners and teachers can access the school, especially after heavy rains. Currently, there are ongoing discussions at national level, which emanates from the Roads Indaba, which was held in February 2022. Mpumalanga has proposed more flexibility on the provincial roads maintenance grant to enable spending above the capped 25% on rehabilitation of roads, especially after the withdrawal of the coal haulage network grant. Madam Speaker, let me summarize the strategic importance of the provincial road network and why our drive to explore how best to expand taxpayers' funds to address the steady decline on the quality of our roads. Mpumalanga generates about almost 75% of the country's electricity. Hence, the strategic importance of the coal haulage network to ensure energy security. Transport infrastructure plays a critical role in promoting tourism growth by enabling tourists to access and enjoy Mpumalanga's vast tourist attractions. And Mpumalanga is one of South Africa's important agricultural regions and plays a key role in its export profile, and also is an important lifeline for food security. Honorable Speaker, safety and rights of all road users remain one of government's main priorities. Together with the Department of Community Safety, Security and Liaison, we are tasked with overseeing the Arrive Alive campaign. The objective of this campaign can only be achieved through partnership between government, public transport operators, and the public. In most instances, regulatory framework, guidelines, and plans are available to enhance road safety. These are focused on education, training, and testing, human behavior, road designs, and enforcement, amongst others. We have a responsibility as a department to ensure that road users, particularly in the public transport sector, are afforded a safe and reliable transport system. This has led to a special law enforcement operation which was conducted in the early hours around 3 a.m. yesterday on the famous Moloto R573. 3 a.m., Honorable Speaker. Honorable members, we have a similar operation last year, together with the Honorable Premier, whereby 45 PATCO buses were impounded for operating without operating licenses and unroadworthiness. However, yesterday we impounded only 8 buses, which shows a slight improvement from last year. We will continue with such law enforcement operations until things are in order in the public transport system. While we are overseers of this objective, we are also road users ourselves. As such, we are constantly exposed to the same dangers just like any other member of society. Last week, we received with deep shock the news that one of our employees was involved in a horrific accident near the Kruger in Mpumalanga International Airport. Sadly, Mr. Evening Ntuli, who was an assistant director for expenditure at head office, lost his life. May his soul and the souls of those that have perished on our roads rest in eternal peace. Honorable members, student transportation is an enabler for equitable access to quality education. It is against this understanding that this year, a budget of 451 million rand has been set aside for management of the transportation of learners. Apart from learners, approximately 117,000 daily commuters benefit from the bus subsidy scheme allocated through the Public Transport Operations Grant. The budget for this year has increased to 711 million rand. This increased budget covers the annual price adjustments and also makes it possible for many disadvantaged Mpumalanga residents to counter apartheid spatial planning and to access their place of work, hospitals, and schools. Bus companies have a critical role in not only improving access and mobility, but also in the fight against unemployment, poverty, and inequality. To this regard, we have started engagements with our contracted bus operators to explore potential partnerships for skills development and reducing youth unemployment. Madam Speaker, we cannot deny that the taxi industry plays an important role in Mpumalanga's economy. Other than being used by most commuters, the industry employs many people as drivers, marshals, washers, and vendors. Given the high unemployment level, the importance of the industry cannot be underestimated. It is therefore essential that the relationship between the department and the taxi industry is formally supported. Annually, an average budget of 11 million rand is provided to the Taxi Council for enhancement of administration and governance within their structures. In spite of our well-documented challenges, the two parties have previously collaborated to address a number of social issues such as taxi violence, gender-based violence, HIV and AIDS, COVID-19, and the July social unrest. We must further commend the leadership of Sentaco for its decision not to participate on last Friday's so-called national shutdown. Your understanding that any mass action to disrupt the economy will further harm our recovery efforts is applauded. Madam Speaker, during the presidential imbizo in Carolina, His Excellency Cyril Ramaphosa indicated national government's commitment to work with the provincial government to support job creation. He emphasized the importance of using existing public employment programs like EPWP to create more work opportunities, especially for youth, women, and people with disabilities. Indeed, the expanded public works program continued to create the much-needed work and training opportunities despite challenges posed by COVID-19. EPWP plays a vital role in government's comprehensive COVID-19 response and mitigation strategy. This program is complemented by the Presidential Employment Stimulus Program to address the youth unemployment. Last year, the program benefited a number of people by creating 39,128 work opportunities through the use of labor-intensive methods. The main beneficiaries were 24,214 women, 16,922 youth, and 190 people with disabilities. Through the program, these individuals were provided not only with a source of income, but also some training that may facilitate their absorption in the job market. Noteworthy is that this program involves participation of 30 public bodies who are collectively tasked with the creation of 45,056 in the current financial year. We trust that all stakeholders will continue to find value in reporting about their interventions, which is critical to enhance the performance and impact of EPWP. EPWP also provides local, small, medium, and micro-sized enterprises with opportunities to participate in the mainstream economy. We relied on empowerment legislation to facilitate inclusive growth. It is therefore unfortunate that one of government's empowerment prescripts on this regard was found to be invalid by courts. Subsequently, appropriate action has been taken to waive prerequisites until the minister has promulgated new legislation. Long before this uncertainty, we were bold enough to include empowerment targets on our APPs. Our targets covers all designated groups, including military veterans. Our performance for the last year reads as follows. 91.3% of the value of all contracts awarded were awarded to Black people. 66.3% were awarded to Black people who are women. 9% awarded to Black people who are youth. 0.3% to Black people with disabilities, and 3.6% to military veterans. Ladies and gentlemen, last December we appointed 59 women-owned contractors on one of our contractor development programs called Sakabaki. Since its inception in 2006, the program has benefited 241 participants, but this time around it targeted females in line with the 2019 SOPA announcement. This program is aimed at empowering women-owned enterprises through exposing them to social infrastructure projects. Come end of their training, these contractors will be able to compete effectively and independently in the open market beyond the state intervention. This year, we will also see a structured approach to contractor development during the rollout of transport infrastructure projects. To date, we have finalized the policy framework and are currently developing detailed specifications and bid documentation. This program will provide 32 emerging contractors with training and mentorship over a specific period of time. Madam Speaker, we are working around the clock to ensure that our communities receive services. Their outcry and issues raised did not fall on deaf ears. They are receiving urgent attention, and we will respond speedily and transparently for the purposes of claiming no easy victories. We will work together with our stakeholders and communities to create better living conditions. We will close whatever gap that might exist between the department and our people, and remind them that we are their humble servants, and that the ANC-led government is the only hope that they have to live a better life. We will never undermine the overwhelming mandate entrusted to us by our people. Instead, we are committed to accelerate our work and deliver quality services to our communities. I want to take this opportunity and thank my political organization, the African National Congress, for entrusting me with such huge responsibilities, and I will ensure that the policy objectives of the ANC-led government are realized to its full extent. I also want to extend my sincere gratitude to our Honorable Premier of the province, Mayor Refilwe Msweni-Tsipane, for her leadership and guidance since occupation of the office. I further thank the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee of Public Works, Roads and Transport, Community Safety, Security and Liaison, Honorable Nora Mahlangu, and all honorable members of the Portfolio Committee for their good work on matters of oversight and accountability. We pledge and respect the community, and we will always subject ourselves before them when called to process all matters of our vote. I also want to appreciate the support we received from the Head of Department, Mr. Charles Morolo, together with senior management staff of the department who have been working with us hand in gloves, and we assure them that we will correctly lead them and take the department to new heights. Last but not least, Honorable Speaker, let me thank my family, my partner who has supported me for the past 3 years in situations before being an MEC and who continues to support me even now. My kids who have shown so much patience, independence, and appreciation for the work I do. My helper for making it possible for me working long hours knowing that my kids are taken well care of. Madam Speaker, amongst us is a woman I always talk about in all public engagements. A woman who has raised me with values of humility and respect and independence. Through you, Honorable Speaker, I would like to ask my mother, Ronita, to rise so that everyone can see the strong woman that she has. I always praise. I want to thank my mom for teaching me values of humility, fairness, and always preaching not to forget where I come from. Madam Speaker, the department's overall budget allocation for the 2022-2023 has increased by 40 million rand, or 0.8% when compared to the main appropriation budget in the 2021-2022 financial year. This increase is below the inflation rate, hence, in essence, this means that there is less money to spend on government programs, projects, and personnel. We must therefore ensure value for money on all public spending. I now request this Honourable House to consider and approve the budget of the Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport, Vote 8, which is as follows. Administration, 359,479,000 rand. Public Works Infrastructure, 1,268,843,000 rand. Transport Infrastructure, 1,963,667,000 rand. Transport Operations, 1,317,433,000 rand. Community-based programs, 82,879,000, which brings us to a total of 4,993,301,000 rand. I thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable MEC Lachminarain, for the well-delivered policy and budget speech. The Secretary shall read the 8th order of the day.
Order number 8, consideration and debate on a report of the Portfolio Committee on Public Works, Roads and Transport, Community Safety, Security and Liaison on Vote 8, Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport.
I now call upon the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Public Works, Roads and Transport, Community Safety, Security and Liaison, Honourable N. Mahlangu, to table the report.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I rise on behalf of the Portfolio Committee to request the House to approve the budget presented by the MEC.
I have a speakers list in front of me. I will now call upon the Honourable F.V. Mlombo from the ANC, and you are given 8 minutes.
Honourable Speaker, thank you very much. Let me take this opportunity to greet you again, Honourable Speaker, to greet the Honourable Premier in her absentia, the Leader of Government Business, the Deputy Chief Whip, Honourable Makaring, the members of the Executive Council, the Leader of the Official Opposition, Honourable Sidibe, the members of the Provincial Legislature, the Provincial Chairperson of Nehau, Comrade Fanny Ngwenyama, our guests in the gallery, and in fact, the media. Honourable Speaker, I feel proud as I'm standing here because to me, this is a profound opportunity that we are assembled here today on behalf of the people of Mpumalanga and for the people of Mpumalanga to discuss and debate about the development of the economy of the province and the inevitable transformation of our country and province. The ANC takes this debate as another opportunity to sharpen, to radicalize, and to renew our resolve to deliver a better life to the people of Mpumalanga. In this regard, the Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport is seen as a propeller that navigates the entire province to accomplish this vision. It does so through its mandate, which is to construct roads and build infrastructure to the benefit of all, to introduce integrated transport system and infrastructure that promotes economic development, to stimulate inclusive growth and effective economic transformation, and to be the fulcrum of development and mass-based economic transformation. The ANC's 2019 manifesto, Honorable Speaker, is clear on how to achieve the above objectives. It calls for the transformation of the economy to serve the people through the development and intervention that promotes a developmental growth path that creates jobs. It further calls for the acceleration of the provision of infrastructure to support the economy and meet the basic needs. But lastly, Honorable Speaker, it calls for the consolidation of the support for small business and cooperatives to grow the township and village economy. We believe, as the African National Congress, that it is only through a capable state that we will be able to lead and mobilize society behind a transformative agenda. Through the transformation of state institutions with regards to their orientation and, in fact, their composition, that it is through that state that which is visionary and acumen that we will be able to ensure that the objectives as set out in the Freedom Charter and the National Development Plan are in fact realized. Honorable Speaker, here is an MEC that has proven beyond any reasonable doubt that she understands all these policy imperatives, because through her department, she has done exactly what is expected and exactly what the ANC manifesto is in fact saying. She has, through her department, mobilized an arm of brigade to patch potholes across the province. She has constructed a world-class Mpumalanga fresh produce market, which has created thousands and thousands of jobs. This department has constructed agri-hubs across the province. Nearly in each district we have an agri-hub. It has renovated hospitals across the province and contributed to what we call the quality, accessible healthcare to the people of Mpumalanga. It has intervened when the communities were made vulnerable by the storms and floods that washed away bridges and roads. They have intervened through the construction of those roads and those bridges. This department has supported a number of small, medium enterprises in the province and helped them to develop themselves. We have just heard from the Honorable MEC that this department has taken an initiative to ensure that they impart skills to the youth of this province and assist them to develop. This department is collaborating for the first in the history of Mpumalanga. We have a collaborative effort between this department and the taxi industry, which we appreciate as the provincial legislature and the ANC. As I'm about to sit down, Honorable Speaker, let me leave you with these words. And these words are sung by a singer called Gramps Morgan. He says, there is a place for people like you. If you give more than you take, if you try to fix more than you break, if you are the type who takes time to help a stranger in the rain, if you stand up for those who are down on their knees, then there is a place for people like you. If you lend a voice to those who cannot speak, if you shine a little light and give sight to the ones who lost their way, if you walk around with your hands on your sleeves, And if you try to be the change that you want to see, if you lay down your life so that someone can be saved, then there is a place for people like you. And thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
I now call upon Honorable MCC Dibe from the EFF, and you are given 5 minutes.
Oh, it's on already. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to you and the Chief Whip of the official opposition and our Honorable Member Mkabela, as well as all honorable members present. Well, MEC, I see you have a young mother, and thank you for bringing her along. Honorable Speaker, the slogan of the Department of Public Works says South Africa works because of public works. But I think this is the opposite in Mpumalanga. I'm standing here today in front of this house and asking myself whether I'm indeed a Mpumalanga citizen. I feel ashamed and embarrassed because nothing in this province is ever right. And I feel ashamed because this government has dismally failed to provide basic services to its citizens. Honorable Speaker, the Provincial Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport was recently allocated 4,993 million, as the MEC has already alluded, to ensure the delivery of balanced and quality road infrastructure programs, while at the same time tasked with maintaining the road network throughout the province. Yet our roads are still filled with potholes, sinkholes, and bridges that are still not fixed. Every day our citizens are subjected to use this road, these pet roads, which is courtesy of the ANC government, Honorable MEC. The ANC that you were just posting about here. This province, famously known as the capital city of potholes and sinkholes, has lost so many lives on the roads because of the bad state of the roads. How many more must die for you to see the need to invest on our road, Honorable MEC? Furthermore, this department was given a 200 million to complete and maintain government buildings such as schools and government complexes, including the parliamentary village and the hospital. So I'm surprised when the Chief Whip of the majority party is misleading the House and the people of Mpumalanga here that the department has renovated the hospitals and the schools, because as we speak, Honorable Speaker, we are at pains that the orthopedic ward in Emalahleni is closed, and people who get the road fatalities are unable to get help. This because of its hazardous nature and a risk factor, as the building is old and dilapidated. To sum it all, Honorable Speaker, the Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport is as dead as our roads and the public buildings. The mortuaries are not working in Mapulaneng Hospital. It's stinking bodies or corpse. We are no if you get it's a problem. There's no water. They are still using boreholes.
Round up, Honorable Member.
So the Honorable Chief Whip must not mislead our province. This shows that the department has no vision and clear cut-throat plan to our roads and our public buildings. As I conclude, Honorable Speaker, our major concern is the continued corruption in the department, especially with regards to granting of unjustified variation orders to service providers in the main contractors. We like to formally call for thorough investigation into all variation orders granted to contractors dating back from 2009 up to date. Thank you.
I now call upon the Honorable TMJ Grovier Morgan from the Democratic Alliance, and you are given 4 minutes.
Greetings, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to all honorable members and the House at large, and to all our guests. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable MEC has just tabled her budget for 2022-23 financial year. Representing the Democratic Alliance, I feel that as government, we need to be doing more, Honorable MEC. The majority of our roads are severely dilapidated and a death trap to the motorists who use it. The potholes and severely eroded portions of roads on the R50, R55 and 12 in Victor Kanye, the Dahlstrom Road which connects Middelburg to Belfast, Standerton in Lekwa, and also various roads in Governor Begi local municipality pose a serious threat to motorists. Honorable Speaker, our road network is pivotal for sustaining the provincial economy, and yet the majority of our roads are in a state of disrepair. Trucks and heavy industry vehicles pose a huge threat to the lifetime of our provincial road network, and because of which I am against decision taken to remove the coal haulage portion from the provincial road maintenance grant. Honorable Speaker, it can never be acceptable that whilst Mpumalanga is responsible for generating 75% of our electricity supply in the country, the coal haulage portion has been withdrawn. Honorable MEC, on the point I stand with you when you say that this needs to be revisited, and in the meantime, may I request that we make use of rail more when it comes to transporting coal and the like, as this will reduce the damage on the roads as well as accidents. Over the past couple of years, this department has been battling to ensure that targets set are met, and also when it came to the rollout of projects. The department further struggled to complete these within agreed upon times and upon budget. Honorable MEC, it was estimated that the overall performance for your department is at 60% for the 2021-2022 financial year, and because of which I call upon you to ensure that this performance is increased. Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, I believe that we should be doing more when it comes to the Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport. We are at a point where we have no choice but to prioritize our road infrastructure, and we must do this within a reasonable time frame. And this can never be achieved if we fail to attain targets that are set. We set the targets, but we cannot meet them. We are at a time in which the global and local economies are very volatile, and because of which there are hundreds and thousands of jobs who are at risk. Let us ensure in such instances that the province EPWP program assists. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I now call upon the Honorable T.M. Makaringe from the ANC, and you are given 8 minutes.
Let me first greet Honorable Speaker, Honorable Premier in absentia, members of the Executive Council, members of the Provincial Legislature, our officials and invited guests, good afternoon. I greet you in the name of the Liberation Movement, the Giant African National Congress. Let me first confirm that I'm the citizen of this province, Mpumalanga. And I believe that if we are fair with ourselves, all of us will appreciate that the progress that is made by the Department of Public Works under the stewardship of Honorable MEC Lanch Namarian is great. The Department of Public Works, Road and Transport is tasked with the mammoth task of leading the course on infrastructure development, delivery and maintenance. It must also ensure the delivery of quality roads, manage and regulate the transport industry. The department is an implementing agent of all other departments in the province, and it must equally deliver on request by other departments. That's why Honorable Chief Whip has indicated that there are projects like AgriHub, which is from agriculture, and schools from Department of Education. I kalengofu even at timpfula ta ku tala in the whole country. Lani xifundza xa KwaZulu-Natal xi nga xo lexi nga biwa ngopfu hi khombo lera mpfula. But hikwalaho ka ku hi xifundza akelani xa KwaZulu-Natal na hina tanihi Mpumalanga hi ve na khombo ra ku onhakeriwa hi miako na mapatu yo tala ya onhakile. Leswi vulaka ku budget leyi MEC a nga vulavula hi yona yi ta va yitsongo ka ti-plans leti hi nga na tona tanihi province ku alungisa mapatu. Honorable Speaker, we have noted and accepted the budget allocation of 4.9 billion as it is informed by the medium-term strategic framework. The National Development Plan and Mpumalanga Economic Growth and Development Path, even though the budget may not cater for all government priorities, we appreciate the increase of 0.8%. We appreciate that increment laying a 0.8%, and Laguvula cut opportunities letting at the creatively in Makakulungiswama part. You come back with MEC prioritize any Vama beans Valakaya, Vatakota Kukula, Combela Kuvale Handle, Mingava prioritize. And the Lakuvla Soku. Ikombela ku akuvina mapatla mangata ya quality kumata elastanka roklea. We appreciate the swift response by the Honorable MEC by declaring war on potholes and committing to the upgrading refurbishment of the road Matsamu Plaza to Kamhluchwa in Komazi. A contractor has been appointed in that regard. The department has promised to allocate a budget for other provincial roads that triggered mass protests by taxi drivers and other motorists. We further applaud the Honorable MEC. She has just now announced that they have prioritized the refurbishment of road between Akonuk and Manyeleti Game Reserve, as it has been in a bad state for a long time. The conditional grants received by the department will assist a lot in the fight against the higher rate of unemployment, especially the extended public works program. Honorable Speaker, school safety and scholar transport safety has been a concern lately. Not so long, Minister Njim Tsega reported that Mpumalanga was #1 in bullying and school violence. The violence was reportedly to be most between learners. We urge government to prioritize the safety of our learners and teachers at school by employing security guards that will conduct searches at school. We have moved to the fourth industrial revolution, and most learnings are in the form of technology, and we must ensure the safety of the resources at the school. Last week, I indicated that Ina Tatanas Bia from Kanyamazanlu anga donator. Ya avula so ku slowly donate waka ilava va itwela ka swang. Swa fanela ku fana protection ku singa lahleki. Akusunguleni ka lembeleri ivena khombo eka masipala wa Chief Albert Lithulu lava na va xikolo va nga te va xikolweni va kuma nghozi ya movha ku lova vanhu va ku ringana na yena. So hi la ku vula swo ku loko va karhi va cheka va MEC na maphorisa ya le patwini va kume ku movha leyi va famba hi yona a yi nga ri ndleleni. Se hi yo mhaka mi vone MEC wa hina loyi hi vulaka ku ANC a mi endlanga xihoxo ku appointa MEC Lunch na Marian. Hi vonile tolo a ku sukusala ndlwini a pfuka ya mloto a ya gada ku endlela ku tinghozi leti nga humelela eChief Albert Lithuli ti nga ha endleki. I karhi vurile la ku ku na 8 ya tibazi leti nga khomiwa hi ku ti nga ri ndleleni. We appeal to the department to tighten its vehicle inspection unit and ensure that those transporting school children have valid permits. It is important that we must make sure that all the people that are giving us those services, their vehicles are at roadworthy. The ANC would like to ensure the citizens of this province that it has deployed a very capable, competent, youthful leader in Honorable Lunch Namarian. In terms of the 2022 Easter holiday, the country recorded a decline of 162 compared to 235 last year of road fatalities. We take note as the ANC that improved road condition is our contribution factor to the road. I know and understand that usually as opposition, even things are appreciated, we will always oppose that because that is your responsibility as an opposition in this August House. Honorable Speaker, we acknowledge and appreciate the investment drive of Mloto Road and the R4. Such infrastructure development will greatly uplift emerging contractor create jobs opportunities, and will have safer roads. I therefore move that the adoption of the approved budget of 4.9 billion that has been allocated to the department be approved and adopted by this August House. Thank you.
Except the opposition, because we oppose.
Honorable W. Weber, you are given 3 minutes.
Speaker, I've listened very carefully to what has been said today. With some I agree, with some I do not agree. I listened specifically to Honorable Lashminarin, the MEC, when she touched on the importance of the role of women. Madam Speaker, I want to make it clear, I do not have anything against women. I'm even married to one, for your information. Kodwa thina singamadoda sibobona lento yasinda ukuthi ekugcineni ukuthi singagitshelwa ngamakhosikazi ufuna ukuthi cha ke we mustn't take it too far. Singamadoda ufuna ukuthi simelele. Now, Madam Speaker, to touch on the topic which we are on now, if you go to a nice dinner, you eat with your eyes first. You eat with your eyes first. If international tourists travel to the Kruger National Park, their first impression is not the game in the park, it's the road that leads to the park. That's very important. And therefore, we must be aware of the fact that is who we are. The impression that the international tourists are getting from South Africa, that's who we are. Now, what concerns me, it is mentioned here that the government has consistently reduced infrastructure conditional grants. I disagree with this. Madam Speaker, this is short-sighted. Our infrastructure is not up to scratch. Our district roads are on the verge of collapse. And therefore, it's important that we do not be short-sighted and reduce the funding thereof. I'm of the opinion that this department is underfunded at this point in time. And lastly, because of the lack of sufficient time, I want to touch on the parliamentary city. Madam Speaker, this is my last term. I'm going to finish because on paper, I'm too old for this job. I would like to stay in the parliamentary village before I resign. even if it's only for 1 week.
Round up,
Even if
honorable
it's only
member.
for 1 week, please do that for me as a consideration for me as a very old man, because I'm almost 100 years old now. I thank you.
Honorable N. Mahlangu from the ANC, you're given 10 minutes.
Madam Speaker, members of the Provincial Legislature, members of the Executive Council, Honorable Premier in absentia, distinguished guests and community members present here, revolutionary greetings. Madam Speaker, we have a mammoth task before us, and that is socio-economic transformation. In essence, the meaning of socio-economic transformation in the context of this democratic dispensation cannot be clearly understood without delving into the actual meaning of it. Firstly, it means the living condition in which a majority of people in this country were exposed was a complete violation of their human rights. Secondly, there were racial dispensations in terms of the delivery of services where certain races were more privileged and other less privileged. Honorable Speaker, it is against the above background that infrastructure investment and development is a cornerstone in ensuring fast economic growth and alleviating poverty. It also massively contributes towards people ensuring that people can access social and economic amenities. It needs to be emphasized that good quality infrastructure is important not only for faster economic growth, but also to ensure inclusive growth. By inclusive growth, we mean that benefits of growth are shared by the majority of the people of a country. Thus, the inclusive growth will lead to the alleviation of poverty and reduction in income inequality in the country. Honorable Speaker, this vote is critical for our development trajectory. The department is the custodian of government infrastructure in the province as it serves a number of departments. Infrastructure is broadly classified into social and economic, where social infrastructure is that infrastructure that assists in stimulating the educational, health-related, and culture-related standard of the people. Like we can say schools, hospital, libraries. Economic infrastructure is that infrastructure that contributes in encouraging the economic activities such as road, highways, railroads, electricity, telecommunications, water supply, etc. Indeed, Honorable Speaker, the ANC is the primary driver of socio-economic transformation in this country generally and Mpumalanga in particular. This department is tasked with the construction of schools, health facilities, library, and roads. It also has the potential to create employment through its infrastructure investment. In terms of economy and employment, the department has committed to create 45,046 EPWP jobs. It has deployed road and maintenance teams and routine contractors to address the challenges of potholes across the provincial roads. Transportation and proper roads play an important role in our daily lives. It offers people access to food, schools, employment, healthcare, and recreational activities and facilities. In an endeavor to deal with potholes, we witnessed the department procuring 4 mechanical potholes patching vehicles. Also, road maintenance has prioritized scholar transport routes to ensure safety of our learners. It is therefore incumbent that the department capitalize on the district model with municipalities to deal with municipal roads. Honorable Speaker, a number of schools has been built across the province, and we urge the department in collaboration with the client department, which is education, to attend and expedite the process of dealing with dilapidated school infrastructure. It must further fast-track the completion of educational facilities such as the Mkondo boarding school. Education plays a huge role in the development of the economy and is a type of social infrastructure that should be made a priority. Our intention as the ANC is to offer equal education for all, which can only be achieved with adequate infrastructure. Adequate infrastructure in education helps facilitate learning. Rural communities must be prioritized in this regard, and in some instances, the challenge relates to overcrowded classrooms. In terms of health facilities, it must expedite the construction of Mapulaning and Middleburg Hospital to enable our people to access better service. A strong healthcare system is vital for any community. With so much illness and disease, there must be a well-equipped healthcare system that can handle citizens' health needs. Healthcare, particularly in rural communities, is one of our challenges across the province. One of the most significant process is the constant communication between the department and the client department's infrastructure units. This will enable the process of ensuring the smooth running of construction project and to point areas which must be prioritized. Honorable Speaker, in our economic transformation policy, we made a commitment to implement to social enterprise model. What this means is that where our projects are taking place, the local produced materials such as bricks, etc., must be procured in order to empower local businesses. We are definitely dealing with socio-economic transformation, which is inextricably linked to job creation and uplift the standard of living of our people. Therefore, leveraging of local resources is done to ensure maximum participation in the economy. Our past as a country has dictated the manner in which we are supposed to redress the imbalance. Madam Speaker, one key aspect that is critical to infrastructure investment and longevity is the maintenance of such infrastructure. Due to the department being bestowed with the responsibility to construct, it is equally responsible for maintenance. We need to ensure that our schools, health facilities, bridges, and roads retain the same standard and resemble when they were constructed. Therefore, the pivotal role of this department is evident before everyone. As President Nelson Mandela once said, I quote, "There is nothing I fear more than waking up without a program that will bring a little happiness to those with no resources, those who are poor, illiterate, and ridden with terminal disease," at close quote. Honorable Speaker, just next to us, we have Rob Ferreira Hospital, which was revamped and improved because it is now serving people across racial lines. The DA will turn a blind eye and pretend as if they are forefathers and ancestors with providing health care, which was of a low quality to the majority of our people in homeland. As I conclude, Honorable Speaker, today any person of any race can access health facilities. They are telling us they can lead better than the ANC. I don't know why Batole Amatlin Audite Western Cape, whereas community yethu lapha la kuhlala khona abantu abamnyama bayasafara, bahlala ezindlini ezingakafanele, baphila nje impilo engase right. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Lachminarain.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First and foremost, let me appreciate the comments, the remarks, as well as direction that has been given by all honorable members. It has been noted and it will be taken forward in implementation stages of the department. Honorable Speaker, in response to our Chief Whip, we appreciate the remarks and concerns raised, and we will heed the call for acceleration of infrastructure projects. Honorable Sidibe, I think the remarks made by Honorable Sidibe in respect of the political party is his own comments and his own opinions. But as it has been highlighted by Honorable Deputy Chief Whip, is that opposition parties are tasked with the responsibility to always find fault in the ruling party. That's their job. But Honorable Sidibe, I understand, and even MEC for Health can attest to that the working relationship, even the level of communication with opposition parties, is one that Honorable Sidibe calls the MEC for Health. In terms of MEC, we are having concerns which the MEC of Health attends to. So these concerns, Honorable Sidibe, it questions me why the same call was not made to Public Works, as it's also been done in terms of your concerns that you have used in the debate. But, Honorable Speaker, we are a caring government, and we will ensure that all concerns that have been raised in terms of Honorable Sidibe's allegations will be attended to. The processes of variation orders, Honorable Sidibe, is done by the bid adjudication committees, and we must note that variation orders are done where it is above 20 million rand. These variation, Honorable Sidibe, I understand that you are calling for an audit. These variation orders are already audited through the Auditor General on an annual basis. We must also look at reasons why variation orders are required or needed and are contractually allowable on projects. Let's take, for example, the road that we are having at Dachakral that we are implementing. Variation order was needed there. If you look at the designing, the plan of the road that was designed, you cannot foresee that there was a huge rock part in that design process. Now, how do you adjust the budget to make sure that you remove the rock that is going to be obstructing the road? So in situations, we understand that variation orders are required to ensure that a project is properly completed. Honorable Krovia, we acknowledge the concerns regarding the performance of the department. In 2020, it is correct, the department sat at 61%. However, we are proud, Honorable Speaker, where we are sitting currently as Department of Public Works in the 2021-2022 financial year. The department is sitting at a 79.4% completion. I think that is one that we can note to say, yes, indeed, we might have had a slow performance, but as a department, we are taking strides to ensure that we are upping our game. Honorable Krovia, I think one of the things that you disagree on in respect of the withdrawal of the coal haulage grant is one that as a department we have always been speaking to national about as well. It's a concern for us because as much as we can disagree, we agree with you as well that we have to disagree with the withdrawal of the coal haulage grant because Mpumalanga is we are majority reliant on coal industry. But the grant has already been withdrawn in the previous financial year, and since it still has not been brought back to the province. I think it's a concern, Honourable Speaker, because majority of our roads are coal haulage roads. We have mines all over Mpumalanga. That is why the department has taken a stance to say, as government, we cannot be doing it on our own. You are having these mines who are also generating an income for themselves. And as such, we have approached them to say that they must also come and supplement the government coffers to show that in those roads that their trucks are damaging, they are also putting money in ensuring that it is maintained. Honourable Speaker, I think we must attest that we have been in talks with the mining industry, and a proposal from mines is that we tried to insert toll gates for coal trucks only, which will generate an income that can go back to the provincial coffers to address the road network. Honourable Weber, in respect of Honourable Makaringe, I think we must firstly appreciate Honourable Makaringe's, what can I say, his attempt to pronounce the surname. We must appreciate his attempt to pronounce the very long surname, Lachminarain. Honourable Makaringe, yes, we have taken note of the need to support local content. And hand in hand, Department of Public Works, through our contractor development, we make sure that wherever contractors are deployed, they leave some sort of local support, not only financially, but also in terms of academics, in terms of something that the community can benefit even when the contractor has left. We are proud to say that in Tegwane, the contractor has left support to local communities in terms of trade certificates. So on the opening of the bridge, you will see that majority of the youth in that area have been trained, and he will leave the community with trade certificates to ensure that they are able to go out and look for employment without any intervention from government. Honourable Weber, we appreciate your concerns in respect of our tourism routes, but I think that in the speech we have noted that majority of our tourism routes are already in the process of being maintained through the Department of, in collaboration with the Department of Economic Development and Tourism, or through the mechanized jet patcher machines. We have already started. I think you've witnessed us last week where we were between Hazy View and the Kruger Gate. And I think, Honourable Speaker, all these, what can I say, all these attempts by the department must be recognized. We already have an internal team that has went out, as it has been attested by the Honourable Chief Whip. And in increasing our capacity, we are also ensuring that we want to have a pothole-free tourism route at the end of this financial year. Honourable Matlangu, we appreciate the concerns in respect of the potholes in terms of also creation of job opportunities. Madam Speaker, I think we must indicate that our jet patches are doing an excellent job. On implementing stages, we have taken the jet patches to Mashishing area as a way of experimenting. And what we can say is that statistics have shown that in absence of a jet patcher, mechanically or physically, cost centers were repairing a pothole of between 30 to 60 square meters a month. Now with the jet patcher, it has increased the statistics to say that we are now capable of doing 190 square meters a month. Thank you, Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity.
Is the jet patcher there outside? Maybe we can see. Are you?
That concludes the debate on vote 8. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the report as tabled by Honourable Matlangu. Agreed to? As so agreed. The Secretary shall read the ninth order of the day.
Order number 9, policy and budget speech on vote 9, Department of Community Safety, Security and Liaison.
I now call upon the MEC for Community Safety, Security and Liaison, Honorable V.R. Shongwe, to deliver the policy and budget speech.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to you and the Deputy Speaker and the Chief Whip of the Majority Party, as well as the Leader of Opposition Party, the Honorable Premier, Ms. Refilwe Msweni-Tsipane, the Honorable Members of the Executive, Honorable Members of the Legislature, Chairperson of various portfolio committees that are here, the Chairperson of House of Traditional Leaders, Nkosi Sandile Ngomane, and other traditional leaders that might be here, executive mayors of district and local municipalities, the Director General of the province, Mr. Makuku Mampuru, the Acting HOD of the Department of Safety, Security and Liaison, Mr. Godfrey Ntombela, and other HODs that are here, the South African Police Services under the capable Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Manamela, the traffic management and all their leadership, Justice, NPA, and all units of the SAPS that might be here, the Chairperson of the African National Congress, Mr. Mandla Ndlovu, as well as the leaders of the ANC that are here in our midst, representatives of all government departments, and representative of labor federations, distinguished guests and members of public, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, sanibonani. En Afrikaans ons sê, die laaste os kom ook in die kraal. Well, Madam Speaker, we present this year's budget speech against the backdrop of rising levels of crime and gender-based violence in the province and in the country as a whole. Honorable members, our Honorable Premier Refilwe Msweni-Tsipane, in her State of the Province address earlier this year, she once more emphasized the importance of fighting crime and corruption. We need a country and a province that is stable for economy to grow and create much-needed jobs. Perceived high level of crime and corruption do not only scare away potential investors, it also scares away tourists that are visiting our beautiful province. Crime does not only threaten our democracy, it prevents people from freely living their lives and connecting with one another. It is in this context that the department, with all its stakeholders, should continue to work harder to eradicate crime and corruption. We all know that for the province to fully succeed in realizing economic growth and recover from the negative impact of COVID-19 pandemic, the scourge of crime must be defeated. On gender-based violence, our honorable members and honorable speaker, we owe it to women and children of this country and the province to create an environment that will enable women and children to live their lives freely. GBVF still remains a huge challenge for the province and the country at large. It cannot be correct that women and children continue to live in fear created by a minority of cruel criminals who live amongst us. Honorable members, Recently, the whole country and the whole world was shocked following the news of the attack of Mpumalanga world-renowned artist and elderly Dr. Esther Mahlangu. During the break-in at the homestead of her in Siabuswa, she was assaulted and robbed. Although the incident left the family traumatized, it is pleasing to note that the arrests have been made. And we must thank the provincial commissioner again for the good work of the police in the province. In another sheer display of absolute cruelty, a 20-year-old Miss Hilary Gadi was killed under horrific circumstances. Miss Gadi was initially reported as a missing person. Days later, reports emerged that her lifeless body was discovered at a timber plantation outside Mbombela. Honorable members and honorable speaker, the recent gruesome murder of a 6-year-old girl, Bontle Mashiane of Mganduzweni in Masoi area, left many people in great anguish. What is even more painful is that some of her body parts were missing. This gave credence to the belief that she was killed for multi-purposes. It is in this context that we once again calling on our communities to expose these evil traditional healers who uses human body parts for multi-purposes. Madam Speaker, we will soon interact with the traditional healers in our province in order to mobilize them to work with us in crime prevention. We also want our communities to expose these evil people. This is Nyanga must stop cleansing criminals who come to them for assistance after committing all types of atrocities. They should rather report criminals to the police and not help crooks to evade justice. Honorable members, Masoi is the very same area where children were killed after disappearing, and this happened in 2017. It is one of the areas that will receive a heightened focus even in the current financial year. We will concentrate on that particular area. Madam Speaker, it is therefore critical that the perpetrators should be brought to book and the cases are concluded in the shortest possible time. This will not only bring justice to the victims and survivors of crime, but it will go a long way towards deterring others. It is also worth noting that many other perpetrators of this heinous crime ended up behind bars. Another similar story was the conviction and sentencing of Julius Mdawe. Mdawe was sentenced at Mpumalanga High Court sitting in Bombela for murders of 5 women that he reportedly met through social media. We must really guard against this social media and meeting people over social media that we have not known before. These offenses were committed between 2018 and 2019 in Masoi area again. Honorable members, beside these cases, there are many other women and children who have also suffered enormously at the hands of criminals, but their stories did not make newspapers' headlines. We commend the police under the leadership of Lieutenant General Manamela for the sterling work that they continue to do in cracking these complex cases. That is why when perpetrators are convicted, we do not only give hope to our communities, but communities also become inspired to work with us in order to push back the frontiers of criminality. We similarly give hope to the survivors and victims who find some solace that justice is being served. The conviction and sentencing of criminals, furthermore, give security agencies more courage and determination to relentlessly pursue these monsters. As a department, we continue to mobilize communities in the fight against GBVF. We also continue to advocate for harsher sentences against the perpetrators of crime. We should not leave anybody behind. Men who are mostly perpetrators should be at the forefront, and that is why some of the programs that we will embark upon in the current financial will speak to that particular sketch. It is in this context that the department will work closely with the police to support all programs and initiatives meant to better protecting women, children, and persons with disabilities. As part of fighting GBVF, the province implements a 375 days of activism for no violence against women and children. The implementation of programs sees all government departments coming together along with various non-governmental organizations. This is done to enhance communities' awareness about the sketch. Support has also been given to the victims and survivors of GBVF and abuse. That is why the department, as part of its oversight on SAPS, monitors the implementation of the provisions of the Domestic Violence Act at police stations. The department continuously advocates for proper functioning of the victims-friendly facilities at all police stations across our beautiful province. The department will also conduct monitoring on the availability of DNA kits at police stations to ensure successful conviction. The department will also give more attention to the top 30 police stations that contribute mostly to the serious crime in the province in the current financial year. One of those towns is Emalahleni. We will ensure the functionality of 20 community safety structures because local municipalities have a huge role to play in ensuring of integrated community safety plans. For instance, the issue of poor street visibility during the night and the inaccessibility of the streets that are difficult for the police to police the areas. The CSF is the heartbeat of the municipalities to ensure community safety. Well, on school safety programs, schools are microcosms of societies within which schools are located. Therefore, the criminality and acts of bullying, carrying of weapons and drugs by learners is a clear indication of some of the challenges that we have in our communities. When we remove prohibited items that contribute to crime, our school will become safe havens for effective learning and teaching that should take place. Earlier this year, we did unannounced visits at several identified schools in the province. We have seized dangerous weapons, drugs from these learners inside the school premises. Some of these schools have been troubled by gangs, as we have seen at Gamhola Secondary School in Barberton and Reggie Masugu, Itafa and Lindile Secondary School in Wesselton in Ermelo. We visited these schools and I'm happy to indicate that things are much better now. The other schools that are still having gangs must be warned that we are still coming for them. We will continue to monitor the affected schools. These schools have also been linked to nearby police stations in the event there are issues that such are immediately responded to by the police. Furthermore, Honorable Speaker, the department will conduct its annual program of prison visit by learners at identified schools. This is part of the overall school safety strategy, and it will be carried out in conjunction with other stakeholders such as the Department of Education, Correctional Services, as well as SAPS. We will continue to visit various identified schools. We will again conduct awareness campaigns amongst these learners to educate them on the importance of staying away from drug substance and abuse and crime. Last year, a school safety program and road safety debate programs were implemented as part of mobilizing young people to be part of finding solutions to road safety and crime challenges in our communities. On border security, Honorable Speaker and honorable members, efforts have been made to enhance border security and combat the influx of undocumented foreign nationals in the country. Mpumalanga, by virtue of bordering Mozambique and Eswatini, has a challenge of influx of foreign nationals in pursuit of better life in our country. Despite efforts by all agencies, the problem still persists, and it has led to crime challenges such as illegal movement of illicit drugs, stolen vehicles, which are upon crossing border lines, and it becomes very difficult to recover those cars sometimes. The other issue we have picked up while visiting the borderlines recently is the existence of the so-called runners. Ama-runners ngabantu ke abathunywa noma abasebenza ukufohlisa abanye abantu from Mozambique to Swaziland illegally noma ngokungekho emthethweni. These runners allegedly facilitate the movement of undocumented people into the country. And immediately a person is undocumented, you must know that person has a potential of bringing any wrong thing into the country. Although the department implements border security awareness campaigns in areas closer to the borderlines, there is a need to work on the infrastructure at ports of entry. This, we believe, will play a major role in preventing and detecting illegal movement of people. We will also continue to raise challenges posed by the porous borders in MINMEC meetings and the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure to ensure that our borders are safe, and this will lead to the safety of our province and the country. And I must thank in this House the Honorable Premier for Public Works, Roads and Transport. When I visited the borderline of Mozambique, I've seen her department have done a very good work in assisting the SANDF, our soldiers, to be able to move freely and easily along the borderline of Mozambique. Border security will also continue to receive heightened attention during the joint management forums, which are called JMF, with the SAPS management, as well as the Justice, Crime Prevention and Security Cluster, which is commonly known as JCPS. These are cluster meetings. On overall Friday program, when I returned to this portfolio committee last year, we immediately relaunched the overall Friday program. The program is used as a vehicle to enhance law enforcement visibility in identified areas where it is implemented. We also brought together various members of JCPS to work in order to achieve maximum impact while targeting crime and also promoting law enforcement visibility. Oversight work on SAPS. The department monitors SAPS in line with the Constitution and its mandate. One of the innovations introduced by Police Minister General Bheki Cele a few years ago is the Court Watching Brief program. With the program, the officials from the department attend courts and identify cases which were closed as a result of inefficiencies on the part of police during the statement taking and the compilation of the dockets. Such dockets are revisited and corrected, and where necessary, put back on court rolls. The strategy is expected to have an impact on conviction rates. This will make it difficult for the offenders and perpetrators to go unpunished. The department started to implement the program last year. We believe that with improved budget, we will be able to recruit officials so that they are able to assist as many people in this regard. On public participation program, honorable members, the department has conducted 5 public participation programs which are commonly known as Izimbizo in Emalahleni and Kangala district, 2 in Mariti, Nas in Gamachegeza, Ehlanzeni district, and Elguatini, Gersbande district in the financial year 2021-2022. The purpose of the Izimbizo was to mobilize the communities in the fight against crime while also affording them an opportunity to complement the work of the security cluster by raising issues of concern around crime and safety in their own communities. Many communities came forward, and the management of the department, the police and other security agencies have already responded and addressed issues raised by the communities. Madam Speaker, other issues that require long-term intervention are equally receiving attention. We will continue, even in the current financial year, to host 3 more Izimbizo in the 3 districts of this province. The department, through its promotion of safety unit, has also implemented educational and awareness program in GBV, trio crimes, human trafficking, tourism safety, school safety, stock theft, and border security, among others. More educational and awareness campaign will be implemented in the current financial year to empower our communities and also to contribute to reducing crime level in our communities. Furthermore, Honorable Speaker, we will continue to support crime combating efforts by, among other, giving adequate support to community policing forums and community safety forums, even in the current financial year. These and many other campaigns will continue to be part of the annual performance plan, which is commonly known as APP. We will further support all other programs within the security cluster to enhance the safety of communities. On road safety and traffic law enforcement, the province experienced an increase in all categories of road crashes for the past 12 months period of 2021 and 2022. Ehlanzeni and Kangala recorded most of the crashes. All the regions had an increase in fatalities. Ehlanzeni and Kangala contributed to most serious crashes and slight injuries. The N4 toll road, some municipal roads, R40 road from Barberton to Akonhoek, R573 known as Mloto Road, R23 road leading to N3 toll road near Grootvlei towards Heidelberg, and R38 road near Betal, where the contributors of most road crashes are happening in the province. During these Easter holidays, we lost 21 lives over a period of 4 days. Due to the strategic positioning of the province, there's always transport activities for export and import of goods to foreign countries through Eswatini and Mozambique. This has an impact on road safety based on the number of road crashes that are recorded from time to time. It is in this context that we will continue to strengthen our road safety and law enforcement initiatives. We are constantly monitoring routes which contributes to most number of crashes. We respond by implementing various programs such as block patrols, K278 roadblocks, alcohol driving operations, and static roadblocks on certain routes, especially during long weekends and peak holidays. Honorable members, enforcing road traffic law and reducing road crashes, the department will introduce information communication technology, which will be linked to a national traffic information system, which is called NATIS, to issue traffic summons. Madam Speaker, will also continue to strengthen support to registering authorities in order to ensure that some of the issues that have contributed to adverse audit findings are eliminated. Honorable Speaker and members, efforts will be made to reduce congestion at registering authorities through public-private partnerships and effective utilization of technology. This will assist in ensuring that potential clients are diverted to other strategic partners for accessing other licensed services. For example, the South African Post Office still offers renewal of license disc for vehicles as a result of partnership that has existed with the department for a number of years now. Honorable Speaker and members, COVID-19 pandemic also affected our licensing services adversely. This happened when the driver license and testing station DLTCs were closed during the hard lockdown. The backlog on the renewal of driving licenses, public driving permits, and temporary driving license was created during that period. Even when restrictions were eased, not many people were able to renew their expired driver's license due to the constant closure of DLTCs every time a positive case was identified. This was done to protect employees and members of the public against the virus. The Minister of Transport offered several extensions until very recently for the holders of the licenses that expired between 26 March 2020 and 31st August 2021. As a department, we opened doors on our offices from Mondays to Fridays up to 6 o'clock in the evening. And on Saturdays, we opened at 8 until 2 in the afternoon during the month of May 2022. This was done to assist as many people as possible to renew their affected driving licenses. Honorable members, we have so far been able to renew more than 100,000 such licenses. There is a backlog of same amount still. We are therefore appealing to members of the public who are still holding expired licenses to come forward and to renew their licenses. On the relaunching of the Traffic Intervention Unit, Madam Speaker, I want everyone to listen to this one, including yourself, Honorable Speaker. Last year, during the tabling of our budget speech to this House, we announced the department will relaunch the Traffic Intervention Unit, commonly known as Red Berets. The relaunch that did not take place in the previous financial year due to budgetary constraints and an unavailability of the tools of trade for the unit. I'm now indicating that the relaunch of the TIU will take place in August this year. The unit is expected to play a major role in government's ongoing road safety efforts and to also curb reckless and negligent driver behavior on our roads, and also other criminal elements. On filling of vacant posts, honorable members, we reported last year to the House that the department took over licensing functions at the city of Mbombela local municipality. Following that process, some employees opted to remain with the municipality of Mbombela while others agreed to be transferred to the department. This development resulted in vacant posts being created at the various DLTs in Mbombela. The department at that time undertook to fill the vacant post. We are happy to report that vacant posts at the Barberton and White River DLTCs have been filled now. This, we believe, will go a long way towards augmenting the department's ability to deliver quality and efficient licensing services to our community. And I hope Umage Morgan will be happy about that one. The budget allocation, honorable members, for the financial year 2022 and 2023 has been allocated as follows. Program 1, which is administration. The program has been allocated an amount of 155,958,000. Program 2, which is a civilian secretariat. The program has been allocated an amount of 57,957,000 rand. Program 3, which is transport regulation. This program has been allocated an amount of 730,437,000 rand. Program 4, which is security management. This program has been allocated an amount of 639,971,000. We therefore present the total budget for the Department of Community Safety, Security and Liaison Vote 9, which is 1,584,323 rand. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, I will therefore like to thank the Honorable Premier, Mrs. Refilwe Mtsweni-Tsipane, and my colleague in the executive for their guidance and support. I am indebted to the Portfolio Committee on Public Works, Roads and Transport, Community Safety, Security and Liaison under the leadership of its chairperson, Honorable Nora Mahlangu, for the role that the committee play in the work of this department. The team in my department, led by the acting head, Mr. Godfrey Ntombela, thank you for the support and the commitment, and also to our external stakeholders. Let us soldier on to make our beautiful province safer for all its citizens and visitors alike. My appreciation also goes to the African National Congress under the capable leadership of Comrade Mandla Ndlovu. And lastly, I want to thank my family that have today come in numbers, friends and comrades, for their unwavering support over all these years. Ngiyabonga kakhulu Somlomo. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable MEC Shongwe, for the well-delivered policy and budget speech. The Secretary shall read the 10th order of the day.
Order number 10, consideration of a report of the Portfolio Committee on Public Works, Roads and Transport, Community Safety, Security and Liaison on vote 9. Department of Community Safety, Security and Liaison.
I now call upon the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Public Works, Roads and Transport, Community Safety, Security and Liaison, Honorable N. Mahlangu, to table the report.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the Portfolio Committee, I rise to table the amount of 1,584,323,000 for the Department of the Community Safety, Security and Liaison for approval. Thank you.
I am informed that there is no debate on this report. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the report as tabled by Honorable Mahlangu. Agreed to? As so agreed. The Secretary shall read the 11th order of the day.
Order number 11, consideration of a report of the Select Committee on Legislature Oversight on the fourth quarterly performance report for 2021-22 financial year, Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature.
I now call upon the chairperson of the Select Committee on Legislature Oversight, Honorable F.M. Lombo, to table the report.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to table the report as presented for consideration by this August House. Thank you.
I am informed that there is no debate on this report. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the report as tabled by Honorable F.M. Lombo. Agreed to? That brings us to the end of today's business. The House is adjourned until Friday, the 24th of June, 2022 at 9 o'clock in this very same chamber.
All rise.